How did you feel when you were extended the offer to come to Scotland for a training weekend?
Super grateful. I didn't believe it at first because I don't win anything. So to get selected, I had to read it a couple of times, and I was like, that is my name. So I was like, okay, this is real.
25 Omnia performance athletes from 7 countries, some closer than others, joining us here in the Arrocha Alps in Scotland. What for, you ask? Well, good times with friends, we reply. So what did those good times involve? They involved this, Ardmay House on Loch Long, which is a phenomenal setting and not the first time that we've been here, and it won't be the last. If you'd like to be here next time, then please do check out the link in the description to figure out exactly how you can do that. But that is not important right now. What is important is people's arrival and, most importantly, Liam, teaching us all how to pick up some heavy things that are awkwardly shaped from the floor, and for most people attending, for the first time. We set this up in this way because we knew it would be quite novel for a lot of people, and it's a great way to apply strength to a new demand. Barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, been there, done that. In a setting like this, why not engage with some concrete balls and floppy sandbags, was the question that one of the athletes asked us, and I said, that's a weird way of saying that, isn't it? So why not engage with some spherical concrete objects and some sandbags in lots of different ways?
I think the sandbags were the best part so far for me. That was a very novel thing, never thought of trying it before and actually really enjoyed it.
The aim here was to get people interacting with different objects, but more importantly with different people, because nobody had actually met one another prior to this event.
It's been really good to meet people face to face, because as much as you can talk to people online, face to face there's a lot of different value to that. But it's been really good meeting some of the folk that I've spoke to online in the person.
Not a huge amount of competition until the end, where we were carrying the 75 kilo sandbag or the 100 kilo sandbag for max distance. Some people, pun intended, sandbagged it a little bit. Other people absolutely buried themselves in the name of competition. But the main thing is, we all had a great time in a great setting with some great new skills acquired.
It's been amazing. I'm just meeting all of the Omnia team, and obviously yourself after so long being online. Yeah, it's been so nice to put actual faces to people.
In true strength and endurance fashion, we got into some minibuses and headed up towards the hills for a 10-kilometre trail run. And what an evening it was. And that's important because tomorrow wasn't quite as wonderful an evening in terms of weather, at least. For some people, this is the first time they'd interacted with a setting quite like this one. And in fact, for some people, it was the first time they'd ever ran on a trail. So I was quite disappointed personally to still not quite be signed off to hit the trail run on the Friday and do the day out in the mountains on the Saturday whilst recovering from my hip. So for the 25 athletes and staff members that attended, I'm quite jealous.
You know, better than anyone. My 5K time is like 35 minutes, and to do a 10K yesterday and on the trails and set a reasonable time for myself, you know, amazing. Plus the views, the people around us really made it. And yeah, it's favourite run I've ever done. And yeah, loved it. Even if we did like a 1 kilometre run yesterday, it still would have been a great start.
Yeah.
Just getting started and getting going has been the hardest battle. And now I'm in it, it's like, I'm not leaving this world anytime soon.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, and Scotland is doing what Scotland does best, which is providing us with a very, very different set of weather conditions to the ones we had hoped for and had had the previous day. Lots of wind, lots of rain, and not really much interruption in those prescriptions for the whole day in terms of the forecast. So we made sure that everybody had ticked the boxes on the kit list and headed up towards the bottom of Ben Narnain. Again, for some people, this was their first time in the UK, their first time in Scotland, their first time on a mountain, their first time in a group like this. So what we really just wanted to focus on today was enjoying being outdoors, enjoying utilising aerobic capacity for an experience rather than focusing on the metrics. So we headed up to Ben Narnain, where we got to the summit after some challenging weather on the way up. Temperature had started to drop a little bit, and if we stopped moving, it definitely started to feel like you were absolutely in Scotland in autumn. But if we kept moving and working as a group, not only was everyone having a fantastic time, upon reflection, everybody was moving very well.
This is my kind of weekend, being out in the mountains with a bunch of people, especially today while we got rained on, living through, we call it enjoy the suck. Doing that with a bunch of people, it really actually brings you together, and I love it. The online community is like so supportive of each other, and then coming here, everybody is just 10 times more on that. They're all about hearing about your goals, hearing about what you've done, whatever numbers you say that you did, even if you don't feel that's good, they're like, no, that's good, good job, keep working. Super supportive, it's great.
And it's given me confidence now to be able to go and maybe think, oh, I actually can go up a hill on a rainy day, and like when it's a bit windy, I'll be fine. Today was amazing, and yeah, we all got wet, but kept us going to the end.
Back to the house for a somewhat relaxed afternoon before a presentation from Kieran and JB, answering some of the questions that the group had asked on our circle community ahead of time, mainly focused on training, adaptation, programming, and a few more individual specific requests. Really hoping to give the group some takeaways that they could apply to their own situation, practically, methodologically speaking, but mainly just so they could leave with some insights. Another wonderful dinner, plus an honorary mention to the flapjacks that the house provided. If you're fortunate enough to be picked for next time, try and source yourself a couple of extra flapjacks, because let's just say the exchange rate carries some value. And given this weekend is all about meeting new people and having an experience, we headed down the road to the pub. A very Scottish experience. But fun fact about this pub, Loch Henry, Black Mirror, was filmed in here, the Village Inn. Do with that information what you will. What I always really like about these pub visits is that some people that were maybe a bit quieter at the start or a little bit subdued on the mountain because it was a new experience, intimidating perhaps, they've shared that experience with people that are now friends. And you see those friendships develop, some opinions flourish, some maybe fun facts like the Black Mirror one shared about individuals in the pub. And I really personally enjoy just sitting there and kind of observing these conversations happening, whilst also getting to know everyone in a very British setting, the pub. And what a setting it is, being on Loch Long, and a great way to round off a great day.
I was super anxious and nervous about coming here to begin with, just to be here. Didn't know what to expect or anything, so just being outside that comfort zone and then taking that into trying different things. I mean, everybody's awesome and we've got similar goals. Not everybody's doing the same thing, but we're doing similar things. So just kind of sharing what we're doing and how people are going about it is really cool.
Awesome.
Really, definitely things I'll take back.
Sunday morning, a little bit more relaxed than the day before, and of course the weather is back online, the one day that we didn't really need it. So this morning is relaxed breakfast followed by some time in either the canoes or some hot and cold immersion. They've got these amazing Finnish saunas out on the grass. And then Andrew, who looks after the household, takes people through the sauna and into the loch and guides them through some breath work. If you thought the personalities were coming out on Saturday night at the pub, then just wait until you see people in the canoes. Drop kicks, aggression, dodgy deals, compromises, oars to the head, we've got it all. Whilst you can see who is from the southeast, who is from nearer to Scotland, and who is from the other side of the world as they immerse themselves to different levels of their body in the loch. A special shout out to the other Fergus, who came in a very obnoxious pair of budgie smugglers and wouldn't go past his ankles in the loch to start with. Energy is high, as is the pace with which lunch is consumed, given the big couple of days that we have had. And then we like to round things off with a presentation from Tom on performance nutrition, which was very interactive this time and really tried to deep dive into people's individual demands when it comes to optimizing their performance, structuring their intra or post or general nutrition, whatever it might be. And we all did a bit of an audit of what we do well, what we don't do so well, and broke off into some groups to try and help one another with those things effectively, because I think a lot of nutrition comes down to individual circumstances, and it's always good to lean on other people's opinions for that. So with everyone slowly realising that the weekend was coming to an end and drifting off on the sofas, Tom did a great job of bringing that energy up before goodbyes. So for those that managed to attend this time, the 25 of them that did, hope you had a fantastic time, and you've done a great job of showing how excellent it can be for those of you that might be wanting to attend next time. And you can do that by checking out the description down below. An absolute privilege to share the experience with everyone that attends. Ultimately, my favourite thing about this weekend is it encapsulates everything that we represent, and we know that the athletes that we work with and that belong to our community from all over the world embody strength, endurance, adventure. Hope to see you next time.